Have you ever wondered what it's like to stand in one country and wave to another, knowing that if you crossed the water, you'd land in a different day? Or tried to imagine a spot so far from land that its closest neighbors aren't people, but astronauts orbiting above? Our planet is packed with odd borders and hidden spots that feel like mistakes on a map. Today, we're looking at 3 of the strangest places you can find. The Diomede Islands, a puzzling mix of borders called Baarle-Hertog and Baarle-Nassau, and the loneliest point in the ocean, Point Nemo. Welcome to Random Stuff on the Internet, the place where we dive into all things intriguing, odd, and worth talking about. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, because you're in for a lot of fun discoveries. Now, let's get into it. The Diomede Islands. Picture this: 2 tiny islands rising from icy waters in the Bering Strait. One is called Big Diomede, and it belongs to Russia. The other is Little Diomede, part of the United States. Between them, just 2.4 miles of frigid ocean. But here's the twist: because the international dateline slices right between the islands, one is nearly a whole day ahead of the other. Big Diomede is called Tomorrow Island for a reason. It's almost 21 hours ahead of its tiny neighbor. So you can stand on Little Diomede and wave across the water, and be waving into tomorrow. It's like a spot where space and time have conspired to play a trick. In winter, when the sea freezes, some brave people have walked across the ice, making it possible for a brief moment to step from one day into the next. Today, Big Diomede is uninhabited except for a Russian weather station, while Little Diomede has a tiny Inupiat village of about 80 people. The separation reminds us that borders aren't always just lines on a map. Sometimes they shape how we experience time itself. Baarle-Hertog, Baarle-Nassau. Now, travel with me to a quiet corner of Europe, the twin villages of Baarle-Hertog and Baarle-Nassau. At first glance, it looks like any other town. But as you walk its streets, you notice something odd. The pavement changes patterns, and you spot tiny crosses marked on the ground. These aren't random. This is the border between Belgium and the Netherlands. And it doesn't run in a straight line, not even close. Here, borders twist like spaghetti. The area is a puzzling mix of Belgian enclaves surrounded by Dutch land, and tiny pockets of Dutch territory surrounded by Belgium. All told, there are 22 Belgian fragments scattered across Dutch soil, and within some of those, tiny Dutch pieces hidden within. You can walk in and out of different countries just by stepping across a shop doorway or crossing the street. Why is it like this? It goes back to the Middle Ages, when land was divided between feudal lords. They swapped fields, farms, and pastures like trading cards, creating a mess that no one ever bothered to fix. Today, it's a tourist draw. You can have lunch in the Netherlands, walk 10 steps to a Belgian bakery for dessert, and stand with one foot in one country and the other in another. It's one of those rare places that reminds you borders aren't always orderly. Sometimes they're a beautiful, puzzling mess. And then there's Point Nemo, not an island, not a piece of land, just a spot in the South Pacific where you're as far from land as you can possibly get. Its name means no one in Latin, and for good reason. Point Nemo is located roughly 1,670 miles from the nearest shore. To put that in perspective, if you're out there floating on the ocean, the people closest to you aren't even on Earth. They're in space, orbiting above you on the International Space Station. Point Nemo is called the oceanic pole of inaccessibility. It's so remote that space agencies have used it as a graveyard for old spacecraft. The area is deep, cold, and empty. No islands, no boats, no sound. Just the endless hum of the ocean. It's one of those spots that reminds you how big the planet really is, and how much of it we still don't understand. Thanks for hanging out with me here on Random Stuff on the Internet. If you like this, give it a thumbs up, and tell me in the comments which strange place or random fact you'd like to see next. Stay curious, stay awesome, and I'll catch you in the next one.